you need to seek a psychiatrist. I saw a psychiatrist one time and he was like, you need to address your alcoholism. Like what you have is like an alcohol problem. And I was just like, nope.
So Katy, so you kind of talked about how people close to you saw the struggle, kind of what you went through, the kind of drastic changes that you made. Through all of this, how come you never sought any sort of mental health treatment? And how long did it take you to kind of get to the point where you realize I do need some help?
So I did briefly see a therapist when I was about 19. And
this is in Colorado?
In Colorado.
Okay.
And she mentioned alcohol to me. Like, you know, she's like, it sounds like you might be an alcoholic. And I was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, I didn't take it that seriously. I was like, whatever. I'm not ready to, look at that or change that. And then I had my primary health care provider was trying to put me on, because I had ended up in the hospital a couple times with panic attacks, not knowing what a panic attack was.
It's scary.
The guy literally didn't know what anxiety was.
Yeah.
There was no language used in my house about that. So like I thought I was dying. And so they put me on benzos, Xanax or lorazepam. And I was like, cool, I'll just take this every day.
Yeah.
This will be great. And then I had a primary care doctor that was like, yeah, no, thank God. He was like, no, we're not. You get 10 and like, we're done with that now. And he was like, you need to try like an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety med. And I tried it for a couple days. It made me feel weird. So I flushed them down the toilet. I was like, this is making me not myself. Like, I don't want to be numbed out. You know what I mean? I don't want to use this substance. How funny is that? Because, but then when I moved to Nashville, things were really spiraling. That's when I was like, okay, maybe I should try. I talked to a therapist and I was like, maybe I need meds. And she was like, I didn't know the difference between therapy and psychiatry.
Yeah.
Which is what I encounter a lot with people who call in. They're like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I didn't know that psychiatry was med management or that they prescribe meds. I thought they were the same thing. I don't know. So I had a therapist that was in Nashville. I was like, I think I need medication. And she was like, I don't do that. You need to seek a psychiatrist. I saw a psychiatrist one time and he was like, you need to address your alcoholism. Like what you have is like an alcohol problem. And I was just like, nope. And I just never went back because I was like, he's not giving me what I want. He's not telling me what I want to hear. Like
You weren't ready to hear that at that point.
I was not. And I was so glad that I have that to look back on. But I just wasn't ready. And I did continue to go to therapy and that helped, honestly. I was really grateful for my therapist at the time. Because she was able to get me to admit that there was a problem with alcohol.
That's great.
Yeah. I felt really comfortable with her. But once she started talking about my family and about things, how I was raised, I felt really defensive. I was like, I don't want to hear this woman talk about my mom and dad and judge my mom and dad and how they raised me. Like, I felt really protective of my parents and like I was betraying them or something.
Yeah.
And so I literally walked out and I never went back because I was like, no, I don't want to hear about how it's all like my parents' fault or something. And I walked out. And then honestly, I did not seek help again until 2022.
Wow. That's pretty long period.
It's a really long time. Yeah. That's 2013 to 2022 that I went without seeking
Now, during that time period, did things get better? Did they get worse? Did you finally seek any sort of help for the alcohol, or did it just, how did that help?
I tried to quit on my own. I talked to a lot of friends. I had a lot of really good friends in my life that like really that I could talk to and open up to. It didn't really get like worse and worse and worse or better. It was kind of like this roller coaster. It continued to be a roller coaster. And I didn't even try to stop drinking until like 2020. And once I started to try to stop at that pace, that's when I realized I couldn't stop on my own. And that I realized that I needed like help. I needed something bigger. Something.
Well, and I feel like that's around the time when, the pandemic hit, and
Yeah.
a lot of people did turn to alcohol to cope with everything that was happening in the world of the isolation people had to feel, and just the restrictions on everything. So did that make it harder for you to then try to resolve your own alcoholism with the pandemic kind of happening?
I oddly had the opposite effect where I was like very encouraged by, even though there was so much tragedy happening, there was this weird feeling of like, we're all on the same level now. Like we're all on the same playing field. Like I felt oddly connected to other people in the world instead of this like comparisonitis that I always struggled with. And it really like, I started getting back on social media. I started hearing a lot of people started opening up about their like mental health issues and like social issues and all these things that I was like, maybe I can get vulnerable about this. Maybe I can open up about this. So like, look at all these people getting so vulnerable, just like, because everyone's at home.
I was just about to say, so do you think it helps that everything was virtual? You didn't have an audience around you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It took so much pressure off that everybody, from like John Legend to like, I mean, everyone's just like in their living room.
Yep.
Recording on their phone. And I'm like, cool. Okay, we're like all the same.
Yeah.
Actually. And that was when I first discovered a girl on YouTube who was talking about her journey with quitting marijuana. And I was really bad with marijuana at this time. And watching her talk about her journey quitting, I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. But it was all seeing other people get vulnerable and talk about their stuff is what encouraged me to start looking at myself.
And is that what's encouraging you to kind of share your story now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it, seeing somebody else kind of go through something similar and knowing that they can do it, it helps a lot of people to kind of get to that point of, maybe I can too. And someone that they look up to online, like I said, especially online nowadays, that's, a lot of this world depends on social media. And you see somebody online that you follow and you watch their videos all the time. And, you see them do something, you're like, okay, it gets encouraging for yourself.
For sure. Like, I'm like, I can write and I can sing and that's cool. But really, I am just a human who's like scared and feels alone and has all the same fears as you, and like is and I think that's important for people to realize, like we are all equal. Yep. We're all on the same these wavelength, and like that's the hardest part is like fighting that feeling of like I'm the only one who feels this way. Because it's just not.
So now if you could go back to that 19-year-old self that you just explained, what would you tell yourself?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think that I would probably tell her that the world is so much bigger than you think it is, and that it's not all about you. No, but I mean, also just that like that it doesn't really matter what other people. I mean, it's. Even if I said it doesn't matter what people think of you, like it wouldn't matter to,
right.
You know what I mean? To 19-year-old me, like at that age, and even still sometimes, like it's hard to really internalize that.
Yeah, well, I think, as teenagers, kind of like you said, most teenagers don't listen, and you could say it over and over again, whether they choose to listen or not. as a teenager,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to do
Uh-huh.
whatever I want to do, sort of thing. So I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm just remembering how stubborn and headstrong I was at that time. And like, I don't think anything was going to get me. Like, I went to therapy. I had somebody tell me the truth about myself, and I wasn't ready to hear it. I couldn't hear it. I walked out. I didn't go back. I wish I would have given that more of a chance, honestly. I wish I would have opened up to more people, especially the people I was working on with music, about how everything really was affecting me, and like why because I think they just thought I was like a party girl.
Yeah.
But there was so much more to that, and I wish I would have opened up a little more about like why, but I just don't even think I knew why. Hey guys, if you liked this content, you liked this video, then please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, spread the word. Axis Integrated Mental Health is here for you. You can visit our website at axismh.com or give us a call, 720-400-7025. And we can help you out.